Mary McDonald with ABC News. Good afternoon. Thousands of football fans have lined Melbourne streets for this year's AFL Grand Final Parade, which is just beginning outside the old Treasury building. Stephanie Ferrier is there.
A sea of yellow and black has dominated the parade route as proud members of the Tiger Army support their heroes ahead of tomorrow's big clash. But there are also splashes of orange. Trish Gray says she swapped allegiances from the Eagles to the Giants to boost the underdogs. But it could rain on their parade. There are ominous clouds and swirling winds, and the Weather Bureau is predicting a few showers.
Police say human remains found in the Murray River on the Victoria-New South Wales border could belong to a swimmer who vanished in January. 21-year-old Nepalese university student Bigal Pandit disappeared while swimming with friends in Albury, but search crews were unable to find his body. The remains were found in the river by fishermen yesterday afternoon and will undergo forensic analysis to determine the identity. Murray River Detective Inspector Winston Woodward says it's a bittersweet day for Mr Pandit's family, who has not given up hope of finding him.
Hopefully we can provide a bit of closure to the family, but in no way are we confirming that the human remains are Mr Pandit's.
The campaign of Democrat presidential frontrunner Joe Biden says it's had its best week of fundraising after allegations US President Donald Trump tried to get Ukraine to investigate Mr Biden's son. Larry Buttrose reports.
On the fundraising trail in California, Mr Biden accused the president of trying to hijack the election. An impeachment investigation into Mr Trump is underway after an intelligence whistleblower claimed he not only abused his office to solicit interference in next year's election, but that the White House also tried to conceal evidence about it. But in a recording released by the LA Times of him speaking at a private party, Mr Trump accuses the whistleblower's source of being close to a spy and casts doubt on the facts.
That person never saw the report, never saw the call.
Mr Trump denies any wrongdoing.
Australians are being urged to think twice about heading overseas for an organ transplant, with a growing number being treated for infections when they return. An international registry to try to stamp out illegal organ harvesting has been launched. The head of the Royal Adelaide Hospital's transplant unit, Dr Toby Coates, says many people are seeking organ transplants overseas instead of waiting for a local donor. He says the international community needs to know how many people are doing this and which countries they're heading to.
One that we're most concerned about, Syria at the moment, because of the traffic of people from displaced people from Syria into the Middle East. That's a very vulnerable population of people that could be very readily exploited by unscrupulous people who wish to get organs.
A forum is underway at Nowra on the New South Wales south coast, giving farmers a say on the European Union's proposal to protect region-specific food names. Jessica Clifford reports.
Farmers and producers are being asked to give their feedback on how it would affect them if product names such as feta or Gruyere were no longer available for use. The European Union is pushing for protection of food names based on their regional origins if a free trade agreement is negotiated with Australia. New South Wales dairy advocate Ian Zanstra says blocking geographical indicators would have a dollar effect on the dairy industry and cheesemakers in particular.
They could well be branded another way, but that must affect the sales of some of those small processors.
Other feedback forums will be held around the country in the coming weeks.
To sport, and in the AFL, Richmond coach Damien Hardwick says he expects Marlon Pickett to be a valuable player when he makes his senior debut in tomorrow's grand final. The Tigers made the shock decision yesterday to name the 27-year-old after he was picked up in the rookie draft just 4 months ago. Hardwick says Pickett has been playing well and replaces the injured Jack Graham.
We thought, look, if it was round 16, we're probably picking the kid to play, so we backed in our gut, and it's a great story, and a lot of people will tell you that, but the reality is this kid can play. So we're really excited to give him an opportunity. He's worked incredibly hard to get that, and he's played some really good footy along the way.
To the weather now. There's a gale warning for Port Phillip Bay, the central Gippsland coast and east Gippsland coast, and a strong wind warning for Western Port, the Gippsland Lakes, west coast and central coast. For the state, scattered showers extending from the west over southern and mountain areas, clearing western and central parts tonight. Small hail possible over the far south during the afternoon and evening. Isolated thunderstorms about Gippsland during the afternoon. For Melbourne, mostly cloudy with a very high chance of showers in the southeast suburbs, grading to a medium chance over the western suburbs during the afternoon and early evening, with a top today of 20 degrees. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, 16. Sunday, a shower or two developing, also a top of 16 degrees then. Right now in Melbourne, it's 17 degrees. ABC News.
What's your plant passion this spring? The October issue of Gardening Australia magazine helps you grow clematis, agastache, watermelon and figs. Plant up a barrel of flowers, understand the concept behind wicking beds, and see how to make a simple self-watering pot. In the patch, learn how to grow your veggies vertically like Sophie Thompson and pick up pointers for problem-free passion fruit. Gardening Australia magazine and the 2020 diaries and calendars available now from newsagents and gardeningaustralia.com.au.
Grandstand AFL.
Grandstand AFL.
The 2019 AFL Grand Final Parade on ABC Radio and on Grandstand Digital.
Well, you can almost smell the grand final from here. It is just over 24 hours away, and the grand final parade is kicking off, taking the players, of course, from Spring Street in Melbourne down to the MCG. We'll be bringing you all the action over the next hour. Al Nicholson and Matt Clinch are down with the players. We'll be crossing to them intermittently through this hour, and helping me in the studio walk through the hour, Emma Race. Hello.
Hello, Anthony. I love a parade. I'm a real enthusiast for all the trappings that come along with Grand Final week, and this is one of the big ones.
I'm big on the parade. Ever since it started, it's just been something to get really excited about in Grand Final week. And for the first time with us, Emma Race, we're used to working with Nathan Burke. 323 games for St Kilda. What would he know?
We upskilled. We went top dog.
Yes, Corbin Middlemas. Hello, mate.
Same amount of AFL games as Marlon Pickett, so here I am. So on the eve of a grand final, probably not quite as excited for the game as what Marlon would be.
Hey, Corbin, how do you reckon? How would Bernie Quinlan feel today? He played 366 games of footy, not one grand final.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of games to not be there on the biggest day. And Marlon Pickett with a big heavy number 50, is going to be lugging that around the G tomorrow. It's what a great grand final week that we've had. We've had race against time stories. We've had a team in their first ever grand final. One of the teams with the biggest fan base in the land. And now we have a guy debut, something we haven't seen for 67 years in our great competition.
You're burying the lead. We've got the two greatest songs going head-to-head. It's bigger than Eurovision, Corby.
They are belters, the two songs, and we'll play them at some point across the next hour. What are we looking forward to in the parade, though, Emma?
Well, you know, I'm an AFLW lover, and I love it when women are represented, especially across the M game. I've just seen Erin Phillips is, on the fold-out chair in the back of a ute being represented, and of course the Outer Sanctum's own Shelley Ware was announced as Football Woman of the Year yesterday at a big awards ceremony, and she's going to be in the parade. So I love seeing the players, but I also love that there's something for women and girls to aspire to. So we're going to see some amazing representations of women in today's parade.
Indeed, there's plenty more than just the players from the two grand final teams. Corbin, what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, super boring. The players, I mean, they're the stars of the show, the cast, which we'll go out onto the greatest theatre in sport tomorrow to watch it all unfold. I mean, it would be such a buzz to be one of those 44 players. And in particular, we touched on Marlon Pickett, Toby Green, who's worn the black hat all year as the villain of the AFL. Yeah. What sort of reception will he get from the crowd out there at Spring Street and on the path to Yarra Park? So can't wait to hear from them.
Indeed. I enjoy looking at the players with their kids, because it's normally only when the player plays their 100th game or 200th or whatever that you see their kids. Today you see every player's kids in the back of the utes with them. So it's a nice little snapshot of how family the various players are.
Do you think that the parade is a bit like where you can gather some one-percenters? Get a bit of, get some crowd on your side. Do you wear the sunglasses? Do you soak it up? Do you look too cool? Do you take someone else's kid on your knee? There's some moments there. I feel like it's a bit of it's some tactical mind games happening in the parade.
Who banned sunglasses? One of the teams did.
Did they?
They banned because they're a bad look.
Yeah.
It gives the players an element that makes them look a bit disconnected from the fans.
So with Toby Green around, it's good to wear some eyewear.
you got to
protect yourself.
It sounds like an Alistair Clarkson rule, doesn't it?
It really does.
No long sleeves.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was Clarko that said no sunglasses. I don't care how sunny it is at the parade. No sunglasses. Well, we'll get a little snapshot of what's happening down there in just a moment. We will be crossing to Al Nicholson to tell us what the crowd is looking like. You're listening to Limo, Emma Race and Corbin Middlemas. Bring you the 2019 AFL Grand Final Parade on ABC Local Radio and Grandstand Digital across Australia.
Grandstand AFL. You're with Grandstand.
The 2019 AFL Grand Final Parade.
Well, let's head down to Yarra Park, to where all the action is and Al Nicholson is our man on the ground. Hello, mate.
Hello, I'm in Spring Street, Limo.
Spring
I was meant to go down to Yarra Park, but I'm not one for following the rules typically, so I went to Spring Street instead, but you've still got me, which is a good thing, and good atmosphere here. It's a bit blustery, but a lot of people out and about, as you can imagine, stacks of Richmond fans, but I do just see little sprinklings of orange in amongst the yellow and black as well. No rain, which I'm happy to report at the moment. It's not the greatest of days, but good atmosphere down here, and the many flags that are flying above the fans down here. They've got a nice bit of wind in the sails at the moment.
Al, when I was coming in, I could see lots of people streaming in to go to the parade, and lots of West Coast fans. Are you seeing fans from all different states and territories there?
I'm actually looking across the parade route now, Emma, and I can see a few West Coast Eagles fans. So in my mind, that is just pure gloating. Try to connect yourself to the success of the day again. Mainly Richmond fans, and then the odd fan of other clubs as well. I mean, this is a public holiday in Melbourne. It's a great chance to get up close and personal and see some of the absolute stars of the game. So that's an opportunity that hasn't been missed by many people.
Al, it's not gloating, it's cockiness, mate. They thought they were going to be in the grand final, so they bought their tickets 2 months ago.
Yeah, they're looking a bit sheepish, some of those West Coast fans now, aren't they? I haven't found any Collingwood fans just yet, Limo and Emma. I haven't seen any Hawthorn fans either, but I'll keep my eyes peeled.
Yeah, there's two here, Al Nicholson.
They're all in Noosa. You know that. They're all in Noosa.
Al, it's always easy to spot the neutral on grand final week, so it's usually just the scarf that they're wearing to try and pick a side for the day. Can you tell us who are the neutrals behind this week? Is it Richmond or GWS?
It's interesting, Corby, isn't it? Because a lot of people love the Richmond story, certainly of a couple of years ago, because they hadn't won a grand final for 37 years. But this year, maybe the old suburban rivalries have kicked in again, because I'm hearing a lot of neutrals are actually enjoying the ride of Greater Western Sydney. There are those that have always been critics and say that, this is a fabricated club with no soul and the AFL's club, essentially. And then there are others who are embracing the story of this team that's come from nowhere, really, when you look at how they were playing a few weeks ago to where they are now being on the cusp of doing something very special. And I reckon a lot of their players have endeared themselves to the general public, the likes of Phil Davis and others, with the way they carry themselves. So certainly plenty of neutrals are on the opposition from a Richmond perspective tomorrow.
Al, it's funny, last year's grand final, some people would have said it was a battle between two evil empires where Collingwood meets West Coast. This year, is it the two nice guys at the competition? Does it change the vibe down there? Is everyone just happily saying, whatever, footy will be the big winner?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, most of these Richmond fans, they'd had that long wait, Emma, hadn't they? And so it was sheer emotion, wasn't it? Now I reckon there's a slight element of expectation. They know how good this football team is that they're a part of. And when you think about it as well, Brisbane at the start of the 2000s, we've had Geelong being a great successful team of the 21st century as well, Hawthorn, and now Richmond's got the opportunity to really stamp itself as one of those great teams of the 21st century as well. Both these teams very likeable, the way they go about it. In the case of Richmond, the way they cherish the fun in football and don't take life too seriously. I think that certainly is something that people really warm to. So, I reckon most people like both of these clubs, except for old Collingwood fans and Carlton fans and maybe Essendon fans who will never ever allow themselves to like a club like Richmond.
It's funny, Richmond is ticking along pretty nicely on all levels. They had an open training session at Punt Road today and all hands were on deck because I think in 2017 they got it caught a bit short. They weren't prepared for what, kind of came with the grand final run-up. And this morning I saw at 6:30 this morning, Brendan Gale, who is the CEO of Richmond, posted a photo of a man sweeping the stands at Punt Road, and he wrote underneath it, "There's the Richmond Football Club head of finance sweeping the sheds." And I just thought that is a real, that's a story that picture that tells 1,000 words, about what's happening down at Tigerland at the moment. All hands on deck, including the CFO.
Yeah, absolutely. They all chip in. Everyone plays their role, don't they? And no any single role is beneath anyone either. It's sort of the All Blacks mentality that they've brought in recent years. I'll tell you what I have seen, guys. Sam Walsh, the rising star, has just jumped in in the ute and is about to head down. But I did see earlier one of the grand final boundary umpires, ABC Asia Pacific's own Ian Burrows, who told me during the week that he is lining up in his 8th grand final. So the first one he did, Limo and Em, you would have loved this, was back in 2008 when Hawthorn beat Geelong. So Ian Burrows, the ABC man, still going strong on grand final day, which is great to see.
Fantastic news, Al. And Al, the boundary umpires, which direction do they face in the back of the ute when they do the grand final parade?
They just hurl footballs into the crowd, Limo, so everyone duck. It's kind of like bouquets going over their heads into the crowd.
Yeah. Very nice indeed. Hey, have you seen Phil Davis? Because we're on calf watch this week. Have you seen him walk? Have you seen him limp? Have you seen him anywhere?
He's all good. I'll be having a chat to Phil as soon as I can saddle alongside him for a word. But it was it was extraordinary, really, when he dislocated his finger, he hurt his shoulder, he hurt his calf, and then after the game he didn't talk about any of those ailments when he spoke to Grandstand. He said he had a sore back, so he might get out there on a Zimmer frame, Limo, but I'm sure he'll be out there. He was there from the start back in 2012. He played in their first ever game, and to be there now, having ridden the highs and lows and suffered serious injury himself, there are so many great stories within this Giants side that they were beaten by over 100 points 10 times in their first 2 seasons. So from there to now, it is an extraordinary leap, pardon the pun.
I hear what you're saying. They've waited long enough. This 8-year drought is unbearable. get them a flag. Are you barracking for them, Al?
I'm not barracking for anyone, Lima. I'm barracking for a good, tight game. I want a game decided by under a goal. And may football win the day.
But said like a true commentator.
Al, do you get a safety briefing about walking alongside the cars and talking to people? You got tram tracks, you got young children out there. You know, I mean, it's a big day for you. It's a big day for you. You're usually sitting in the safety of the commentary box.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a hard hat on. I've got
high-vis.
I've got a fluoro vest. I'm ready to go, and it is the day. I mean, as much as you preach road safety to children, today is the day I'll literally break it's like a game of chicken, Emma, running between the cars
I
down
see you as
Street.
Clint Eastwood running alongside is a security detail.
Yeah. What's the movie where he dives in takes the bullet for the president?
That's me.
That's Al right there. Hey, Al, before we let you go, can you give us a final description of proceedings there? Who's currently sitting in the back of a ute? Who's on stage? What's going on?
Yeah, just a great scene here, Limo. I'm looking across. I can see Toby Green. He's just taking it all in. What a moment it's going to be for him playing in a grand final. A key player, I think, for the Giants as well. But I can see Dusty Martin making his way down. Lots of the players are waving. They've all got their kids in the back of the utes with them as well. Marlon Pickett with his 4 children. Who would have thought? What an extraordinary story. And yeah, the crowd's really built nicely as we make our way down the parade route. So a lot of atmosphere and a nice little lead into the big day tomorrow.
All right, Al, thank you very much. We'll be crossing back to you shortly once you've got a couple of exclusives with the likes of Phil Davis, Toby Green, Dusty Martin, etc., etc.
Good on you, mate. Matt Clinch will be here. I'm taking the Giants. Clinchy's taking Richmond. Can't wait to bring those chats to you.
Good on you. Al Nicholson down there at the grand final parade. And yes, we will, of course, be crossing back to him a little bit later on. Limo here with Emma Race and Corbin Middlemiss. You're listening to the 2019 AFL Grand Final Parade on ABC Local Radio and Grandstand Digital across Australia.
The 2019 AFL Grand Final Parade on ABC Radio and on Grandstand Digital.
Limo here, bringing you the Grand Final Parade. Plenty of excitement down there at the parade at the moment. All manner of people running around. Fans lining the streets, of course, as the players make their way down to the MCG. Now, Clinchy is with the Richmond players. Let's head out to Matt Clinch now, actually. Hello, Clinchy. You're amongst the Richmond players?
Well, the Richmond captain, Trent Cotchin, can join us on Grandstand. You're juggling father responsibilities here. 3 kids. How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. The young man's a little bit upset, so we'll see how far into it we get.
What's the week been like? Obviously, juggling the kids' responsibilities and trying to get ready for a grand final.
I'm pretty lucky. I've got an amazing wife and a great family that support us really well, so it's a pretty normal week, to be honest. Today's obviously, there's a little bit more about the festivities and so forth, which we'll enjoy. And beyond that, it's another game with obviously a lot more interested people in it.
What can you lean on from a couple of years ago to try and best you prepare for, I guess, that one day that matters the most?
Oh, look, I think from a team point of view, you just need to trust the system and the process, and that's what we become very strong at as a group, and know that it works for us. So, nothing really needs to change. It is another game, and you want to have fun playing games.
And Marlon Pickett, tell us a bit about what you've seen from him this week, and Jack Graham, obviously the unlucky story.
Yeah, obviously we love Fridge, and it was a challenging part of the week this week earlier when we ruled it out. But yeah, Marlon Pickett, he's a very exciting player. We love what he brings from an intensity point of view. There's no big or grand expectations of what he does in the game. It's just about doing what he does.
You've done well, juggling a baby boy on your chest. Well done.
See you later.
Oh, you can pick the parents in the studio here. Me and Emma are going, oh, listen to the little baby.
He's so little, that little tiger cry.
Oh, just joyous, Corbin, hey?
Sure.
All right, I believe Clinchy might have Damien Hardwick with him now.
Damien Hardwick, the coach of Richmond, can join us on ABC Grandstand. You're looking back and you've got Trent Cotchin juggling 3 kids and Dusty Martin to his left. How do you think they're going?
It's a good combination. I just thank God I'm not in that car. It's got a tough job, Trent. I think that the youngster's crying now, but he'll handle it well.
What other responsibilities of a coach on a day like to this? Do you leave the captain to his own devices, or do you try and help him out where you can?
No, they're all... our job's done now. Our prep's all complete. The players are on their own, and once again, we've had a really good prep into the week and enjoyed it as well. So we're looking forward to the opportunity to represent our fans come tomorrow afternoon.
Is this a part of the week that you look forward to once your work's done, or is that when the nerves start to hit in and you feel like you've done as much as you can?
Yeah, it's a good point. It's probably just started to become a little bit more real. I walked past the G last night and it started to sink in a little bit, and obviously the parade today. So, like you said, our prep's all finished. We've got all our plans in place, and I think we're in a really good place.
How did you break the news to Marlon Pickett that he was in the team?
Yeah, yesterday afternoon. So it was one of those good decisions you get to do to give a player not only their first game, but tell them they're playing in a grand final in front of 100,000 people. But on the downside of that, I had to also tell 3 players they weren't playing, which is a little bit disappointing. But everyone took it with their in their stride, and we're lucky we've got such terrific people around the Richmond Footy Club to support them.
Having been in a grand final a couple of years ago, how much do you lean on that experience with the majority of your group, knowing what to expect?
Yeah, it's not a great deal, to be honest. Look, we're probably pretty fortunate at the Tigers. We're playing a lot of big games in big stadiums. So, look, the week itself is a little bit different, but we just embrace it. We ask our players to enjoy it. You're not here very often, so make the most of it and don't wish the week away. Take it for what it is.
And traditionally you'd focus on your own game rather than the opposition, but being a grand final, what have you looked at most notably with the Giants?
Oh, there's a couple of things. Obviously, they do some things really well with the ball offensively, try and control it as such, and they've got a couple of taggers that we've got to keep our eyes on as well. So, look, once again, we'll 80% concentrate on what we can do and 20% on the opposition, but try and get the job done.
Have you seen the guy sitting next to you, Tom Lynch? Obviously, second half of the season have been superb and stood up in the finals as he's got the opportunity last week with 5 goals.
Yeah, he's been outstanding, and that's what we brought him here for. We brought him in for big games, and he's delivered for us in spade. He's been incredible the way he's, for a guy that didn't do a pre-season at all, for the way he's battled on throughout the year and to play every game and not miss one and deliver what he has. We're incredibly proud he's come to our club and he's delivered for us.
Good luck tomorrow. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, mate.
Nice work there, Clinchy. Yeah, I suspect Tom Lynch is fairly happy with that move from the Gold Coast, would you say?
Oh, my goodness. He was so good last week.
Oh, he was superb. I mean, this is the exact reason he left, isn't it? And he's doing it in year 1.
So my theory on Tom Lynch the whole way along is there would be no man happier than him that they lost the prelim last year. And this may sound silly, but it's completely changed the narrative around him to think that it was almost reverse engineering his greatness if he was to go and join a team that had won 2 premierships in a row. They won 18 games last year and they get the best free agent available. Instead, he joins a team that didn't quite get there and now he puts them over the top. He's the guy that comes in and kicks 60-plus goals. So I think that the way that history sort of has written the Tom Lynch story, it's a better yarn given the fact that they lost last year's prelim.
Yeah, you're right. It is the perfect story for Tom Lynch, and Clinchy has Brandon Ellis with him now.
Well, Brandon Ellis from the Richmond Tigers is good enough to join us on Grandstand. You're right behind Marlon Pickett. He's getting a fair bit of attention, isn't he? What's it been like this week?
Yeah, he's getting a fair bit of attention, and why not? He deserves it. Yeah, this week it's everyone says it's just a normal week, but it isn't. In our footballing lives, it's probably the biggest week ever. But we were lucky enough to be here 2 years ago, so we sort of know what to expect. Whereas a few years ago, sort of so much unknown. But you can be better prepared this year. But just gotta enjoy it, soak it up. It's just because it's gonna go pretty quick.
So how similar, how different is it? And you've sort of done the formalities once you finish the parade. What do you do to try and shut off before tomorrow's grand final?
I'll probably go back home my way, get some lunch, maybe watch a bit of Netflix. Then I'm going to go to see Mum and Dad for dinner tonight, which I always do night before a game. So then I'll kill some time, and then not too sure. Might put on a movie.
What can you tell us about Marlon that you've noticed on the track, and obviously making his debut in a grand final is rare air?
Yeah, it is rare. He's just calm, composed, and he's just tough as nails. He doesn't take crap from no one. So we expect to see him tomorrow, laying some tackles, crushing through packs, and just really playing his role for the team. We don't expect him to dominate. We just want him to come in, play his role, and just be that hard player that Jack Graham is that we're going to miss tomorrow. But we think Marlon can fill his shoes.
Good on you, Brandon. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Nice work down at the grand final parade there from Clinchy. Or could we see Marlon Pickett and Toby Green going toe-to-toe?
It's a pretty exciting prospect, isn't it?
It really is.
Do you reckon we'll see many supporters with the number 50 on their back?
Well, they'll have to get it organised today.
There might be a late run.
If it's going to happen. I can't wait to see the number 50 out there, Corbin.
Yeah, we haven't seen a heap in modern times. Obviously, Ben Brown at North Melbourne. I think you got to go way back to Ryan Turnbull, who played for the Eagles.
Sean Wren was a 52.
That's a big, heavy number in a grand final.
It is indeed, but he was a big wiry man. Sean Wren. Al Nicholson has been waiting patiently, and he is amongst the GWS players. I think with Sam Reid.
I've got Sam Reid with me. Sam, congratulations on making it to a grand final. Even mentioning the word grand final brings a massive smile to your face. Do you pinch yourself when you think that you were playing here for the Western Bulldogs all those years ago? 4 seasons, 10 games, all the injuries, everything you've been through, and now you're going to play in the biggest day of the year?
I know. It's I pinch myself every time I run out and have a big smile on my face, and I'm just so grateful to sort of run out every week and with all the boys. But to be here, about to go on the parade, it's unbelievable. It's been a crazy week so far.
Even your time at the Giants, had its trials and tribulations as well, didn't it? Delisted, you go and become a development coach and then get another crack again. What a whirlwind for you.
Yeah, she's been a different sort of journey, but yeah, wouldn't sort of change it for a thing. Those 2 years off helped me a fair bit. Learned a lot in that time, and then I've got no doubt to sort of help me in the last couple of years, and being out on the ground and being able to see things that I wouldn't have seen like earlier on in my career.
Can you give us a sense of the shift in recent weeks that we've seen from the Giants? You were belted by Hawthorn, then belted by the Bulldogs. Now you're playing with this serious, hard finals footy edge about you.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
I think we did a bit of it last year in the finals as well. We play this really tough sort of brand of football, and we know that that's what finals is all about. And we pride ourselves on contested ball and going after the opposition, not allowing them to sort of come after us first. So, we sort of found our mojo, and we had to do that. We've been the underdogs, so it's punch first or be punch first, pretty much. So we've gone out there, tried to get really good starts, and I think it's sort of got us over the line in the last couple of games, especially.
Do you know who you're going to play on?
I do, but I think Leon would hear me up there. His ears would be burning if I let that slip. So we'll have to wait and see.
You might have a roll on someone, I reckon. Now, your congestion, getting in the face of the opposition's been a feature. You've got Lockie Whitfield and Zach Williams and you in the truck. Most trucks only have a couple. So is this all about, getting in the contest nice and early? Lots of bodies round the ball?
Oh, they can't split us up, mate. We get the little party car that we carry on here, so they put us all 3 of us together. They didn't want to break us up.
And Zach, you yourself, I'll have to reach a fair way to get into the middle of the truck to chat to you. But what's this moment like for you to know you're playing in a grand final tomorrow?
Yeah, mate, still that sort of surreal feeling. Still got that feeling from when the siren went off last week. So, we're finally in Melbourne and about to do the grand final parade. And, we're not watching on TV. We're actually involved in it this year. So, just pure excitement.
Are they going to be able to kick you out of the midfield this week?
I guess we'll find out at 2:30, I reckon, Saturday. So, you have to wait and see.
Good on you, lads. Enjoy the day.
Thanks, mate.
Sam Reid and Zach Williams there with Al Nicholson at the Grand Final Parade. You are listening to the 2019 AFL Grand Final Parade on ABC Local Radio with me, Limo, Emma Race and Corbin Middlemas.
Corby, have you given much thought to how the game's going to roll out, given that they do play 2 pretty different styles? We saw last week the Collingwood GWS game was just kind of locked up, and they can really shut down those fast ball movements that Richmond really like. What do you think we'll see?
I think, given the fact the weather's going to be dry, they're going to have to play a high retention game. So I think the less civilised it is, the more it suits the Tigers. They want that chaotic sort of frantic football. So the Giants are going to have to be precise. We know they're beautiful ball users, so they're going to have to play a little different than what they did last Saturday.
Speaking about less civilised, we just saw Toby Green. He's looking a little nervous and peaky in the back of the ute.
I believe Al Nicholson's going to be chatting with him in just a moment, but the most talked about appendix in the country used to belong to Lockie Whitfield. Not sure who's
got Lockie Whitfield with me from the Giants. Lockie, the question everyone wants to know is, how are you feeling, mate?
Yeah, I feel really good, mate. Thanks.
The keyhole surgery, how's the recovery been from that? How have you tested yourself out in the lead up to the grand final?
Yeah, it's obviously been quicker than what it should be, but there's a grand final on the line that I'm always going to be ready for. So it feels really good at the moment. I trained pain-free this morning, so I'm good to go, good to roll.
Will you wear any sort of protective guard or anything?
There's been a bit of umming and ahhing about that, but I think we're still going to have to discuss that this arvo.
And could you believe it, mate? I mean, you get this sensation come on, you're on the eve of a preliminary final, and you find out, of all times to have your appendix taken out, it's during the biggest campaign of your career.
Yeah, I know. It was pretty shattering, to be honest. Even when I knew that I had the appendicitis, there was still a chance that I was going to be able to keep it and just use antibiotics and play. But once they had a closer look and saw I needed to get it out, I was pretty shattered. And just luckily enough, the boys killed it and got us to a grand final, so I can hopefully get a win there doing that.
And the emotion of last week, I mean, it spilled over when you beat Collingwood. It was so tense at the end. You defended for 13 or so minutes when they were coming and didn't concede a goal. What was it like watching all of that unfold?
It was stressful. It was so stressful. I watched it on the couch with my mum, and I was pretty sore and pretty feeling a bit sorry for myself, but that last 15 minutes really had all the emotions flying everywhere. So, joy to worry and scared, but then ecstatic at the end. So it was good to watch.
Lockie, all the best tomorrow. Can't wait to see you play.
Thanks, mate.
So Lockie Whitfield set to play less than 2 weeks after having his appendix removed. Is that long enough, Corbin Middlemas?
I think it will be, and there's a reason for that. For people that are old school footy fans back in Western Australia, they'll remember the great Hayden Bunton Jr. Of course, his father, a legendary figure in the AFL and the WAFL. I spoke to Hayden a short time ago, Hayden Bunton Jr., who is 82 years of age. He had his appendix out before a game in the early 60s and played not long after. I asked Hayden how it all came about.
No, it was pretty simple. I just finished up having some aches during the week before we played. It was a game against East Fremantle, and the club doctor, me and I, put me straight in the hospital because it was very close to peritonitis, and I had the appendix out on the Friday afternoon, so I couldn't play the next day. But I was okay to play the following Saturday. That was just a week after.
So were you advised against playing? I guess how did it come about that you were able to play only 5 or 6 days after having your appendix out?
Because I was the selector and captain coach of the side. I picked the side.
So no one was going to be able to keep you out.
Well, there's no reason for it. It was only appendix. It wasn't a broken leg.
Yep. Were you worried about it when you were playing, or did you feel it when you were out there?
No, just a bit tight, but no, I didn't worry about it. No, I mean, once they're out, aren't they? It's a bit like tonsil or anything. I felt. I mean, I did open it up a bit. Where the incision was, but that healed up over a few days.
So you
I didn't even think about it really. I might have the early part of the game just kept my left side out of the way, but no, after that we had to win the game, so I didn't have any kind of worry about that.
Did you have to get it stitched up again after the game where you opened it up?
No. It didn't open right up. It just it was I think from memory they put a couple of pieces of plaster or something over the whole together.
Yep. So Lockie Whitfield, do you think he'll be right to get through the game tomorrow?
I don't know. I don't know much about it. I don't follow it much, but how long ago did he have the appendix?
It's been almost 2 weeks.
Oh, geez, he could have played a week ago.
Good on you, Hayden. Appreciate you having a chat.
Okay, cool.
That is magnificent. That is proper hard old school.
Did that precede Monty Python's Only a Flesh Wound sketch? Because I feel like that was what it was. Brilliant, Corby. My goodness.
I just love that. So Lockie Whitfield, no issues at all, according to Hayden Button Jr. I love that you, Corbin, you say, how did your selection come about? I was captain, coach and selector. Okay. So that's sorted that out.
I was never not playing.
Yeah.
My favourite bit was could have played a week ago.
Yeah. Al Nicholson is now down at the grand final parade with Toby Green.
Toby Green's with me. Toby, sum it up. Look at the crowds out today, grand final tomorrow, and you didn't know whether you were going to be there for a while, and here you are.
Yeah, it was a bloody stressful week last week, but just an amazing experience to be here today, and then again to play tomorrow, and just really looking forward to bringing our best tomorrow.
Gee, those scenes of you celebrating after the game were quite something. Have you felt a feeling like that in your life before?
No, I probably got a bit carried away, but the emotion of the game got the better of me, and obviously those last 2 minutes, everyone saw what happened. But yeah, it was I guess once that final siren goal, I was just that excited to be in the grand final.
Will we see any shift in your style of play this weekend at all?
No, I don't think so. I think I'll just be aware of what I'm doing and just go about it how I do.
And tomorrow obviously has an extra poignance for you and your family as well, with your mum talking about the very tragic loss of Finley. How much will he be in your thoughts tomorrow?
I think about him a fair bit before each game. It just makes me appreciate what I've got. But obviously it was tragic what happened throughout the year. But hopefully we can make him smile tomorrow.
Good stuff, mate. Great to chat to you, and can't wait to see you play. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, mate.
Oh, I'm predicting big things for Toby Green tomorrow.
Yeah, are you?
On some level, he'll be a talking point on Sunday. For one reason or another.
Well, he's got nothing to lose. You're going into a grand final. Like Toby Green, he can't turn off his white line fever.
Why would he change his style of play just because it's a grand final? In fact, that's an even more reason to not change your style of play. I know a lot of people aren't massive fans of his style of play, but...
Do we think Phil will definitely play?
Corbin, what's your vibe?
Yeah, I'm not so sure. He didn't train at all this morning. So I think it is a back injury, and you sort of speak to the experts that generally relates to lower leg complaints and other injuries that he's had throughout the year. So he was out in his runners on the track today, just did some stretching, didn't get out of a walk.
Okay, well, everyone will be holding their breath with Phil Davis. Let's head back to Matt Clinch, who's with Basher Hooley.
Well, Basher Hooley from the Richmond Football Club can join us on Grandstand. You've got the two daughters with you, Basher. Congratulations into another grand final. What's the emotion like?
Yeah, it's a special moment, something that we'll cherish for the rest of our lives, regardless of the result. Being able to achieve a grand final appearance is something that it's very special. You don't get there by luck, and it's something we've worked extremely hard, and regardless of the result tomorrow, we'll be extremely proud of each other's efforts.
Introduce us to your daughters. Who have you got with you today, and what's the juggling of family responsibility been like? Do you bunker down tonight? Do you sleep somewhere separate to try and get a good rest?
I've got young Sarah and Miriam here, so daughters. I've got an awesome wife who's the best thing ever, and she allows me to focus on what I had to focus on. So very, very selfless, looking after the kids, but more importantly, taking care of me over this important time of my journey.
In your mind, what's the key to playing well in finals? Obviously, there's extra pressure and extra expectations. How do you try and knuckle in on your job, especially?
Just stay calm, relax, and more importantly, just put a smile on your face and enjoy the experience. That's a simple messaging that we promote at our football club. Sometimes it's hard to grasp and to take control of, but it's something I've worked on for many, many years. And no doubt tomorrow I'll walk out with a smile on my face and wanting to enjoy the moment.
Have you seen the role of the guy sitting next to you, Dylan Grimes? Obviously, Alex Rance going down in round one, and you had to deal with the adversity of that as a backline group.
Yeah, Alex is a superstar, and to see this young man next to me elevate his game to another level, on field and off field, is it's something I'm very proud to be part of. And obviously we're close by each other majority of the week and an on field, but to see his hard efforts put out to practice on game day is it's a testament to how far he's come as a player and as a person. And we obviously miss Rancy, and we can't wait to have him back next year as well.
Tomorrow, nerves, superstitions, is there anything you do in particular?
No, very, very nice and calm. I've got my academy on this week, so it gets my mind off football to
to an extent. Being able to shift my focus from me to others is great. But tonight I'll spend a bit of time with the academy boys. I'll have a nice quiet dinner with the family, and there's no footy on tonight, so I can't watch much footy, but I'll enjoy the company of the young girls and just enjoy the moment.
Good luck in the grand final.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Nice work there, Clinchy with Basher Hawley, and now I believe Clinchy has got Nick Vlosten.
Nick Vlosten from Richmond can join us on ABC Grandstand. Nick, into another grand final. How are you sitting back enjoying this, waiting for the parade to get underway?
Yeah, pretty good. Bit of nerves, but at the same time, pretty excited. So, yeah, a little bit cold as well, but all good.
Now, we had a former housemate of yours, Tom Boyd, have a chat to John Fane and Peter Gordon this morning.
Really? Yeah.
He said his time living with you was that you tended to play the loose man until you had to man up on someone when the game got tight. Is that accurate, or is he being a bit unfair there?
Nah, it's pretty accurate. Even the back line here gives me a bit of shit not playing on anyone on occasions. But yeah, when Leper kind of says it's my roles on certain occasions, they give me a bit of stick. But yeah.
Were you happy to see Tom in such a good headspace now? Obviously, he's moved away from the AFL circle, but to see him back playing local footy and obviously in a better place than he was previously?
Yeah, definitely. I've probably seen more of Tom over the last month or two than I had the previous 2 or 3 years. So we get down to the dog park with each other most days, and yeah, it's good to see him in a positive headspace. Like, he's still excited by other people doing well at footy, which is nice. And yeah, it's good. It's real good.
So what sort of dogs have you got?
I've got a Spanador, so Labrador Cocker Spaniel, and then he's got a Labrador. So, and then my other housemate has another Spanador. So there's 3 dogs, 3 black dogs running around the park in Albert Park. So
Shane Edwards is sitting alongside you. You don't have a dog, do you, Shane?
Yeah, I've got 2 dogs.
2 Kelpies.
2 Kelpie Border Collies.
Okay, we're on the move. Enjoy the parade.
Cheers, too easy.
All right, they love their dogs down at Tigerland. You are listening to the 2019 AFL Grand Final Parade on ABC Local Radio. Limo here with Emma Race and Corbin Middlemass, but I believe Clinchy has Dylan Grimes.
Dylan Grimes has been good enough to join us on Grandstand AFL. Dylan, it's been a great season so far, all Australian for you. Back in another grand final, what would it mean to top it all off with another premiership?
Oh, it'd be amazing, and yeah, we were lucky enough to do it in 2017. So we know the feeling of how amazing it would be to win one. But yeah, I'm just feeling both of us so grateful at the moment to be here. And you're right, it's been a long year, and there's been some challenges that we haven't had to face before. But yeah, certainly to get the cherry on top of what's been a challenging year, but also a very rewarding year would be fantastic.
I was just asking Basher a little bit about your role since Alex Rance has gone down in round 1. What's been the key in your mind to try and, I guess, adapt without such an important part of your backline, but also personally have such a great year?
I think to be honest, it wasn't really a conscious effort from any one player. I think collectively we really tried to stand up and although it wasn't easy, and to be honest, we probably didn't really do it to the extent that Rancy did, but to fill the hole in some ways that he left was a real group conscious effort, because he did leave such a massive hole, and a lot of us needed to step up as leaders and as players. So yeah, I think there's been an enormous amount of growth, but having said that, I'm really excited to having him back hopefully round 1 next year.
Have you spoke to him this week? Is it the kind of thing you try and reach out and at least keep him in mind?
Yeah, I had dinner with him last night, actually, with a few of the young guys, and he's been a constant mentor and coach to so many players, and none more so than myself this year. I feel like I've been so lucky in that, in previous years being able to play with what was arguably the best defender of the modern era, and then this year being able to be coached by him and mentored by him has been so beneficial for my career. And if I'm ever stuck with anything on field, I always go straight to him and my coach Leper as well. So yeah, just incredibly grateful to have him around the club still, and he's a terrific character.
Now, away from footy, you've got a bit of a keen interest in wine. Could you have a premiership drop if you were successful? Is that the kind of thing you could make up?
Yeah, well, I haven't really thought that far ahead, to be honest. But look, I'd love to, if the if the Tigers were to get over the line tomorrow, I'd love to sit back and crack a nice bottle that I've got in the cellar just to celebrate. As I said, what's been an amazing year. But yeah, I think everyone's mind at this stage is firmly focused on the process for sure.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Now, shortly we'll be going live to Yarra Park for the presentation of the teams onto the stage outside the MCG. But let's quickly head back to Al Nicholson, who's with the competition's premier tagger, Matt DeBoer.
Matt DeBoer, man with big jobs, many scalps this season. You ready for Dustin Martin tomorrow?
I'm ready for whatever they throw at us tomorrow. I think the brand that we've been playing over the last sort of few weeks really stacks up, and I'm really looking forward to our midfield getting to work.
How comfortable are you with people saying that you're potentially the most important player on the ground tomorrow?
I think it's a team approach as always. Everyone will play their role, and just really looking forward to the ball bouncing and getting to work.
You played in Fremantle's first ever grand final. You're now playing in the Giants' first ever grand final. Pretty special for you?
Yeah, it is special. We've got a great group here, and I'm really proud of the Fremantle group that I went through. Got great relationships there, and ultimately fell a little bit short. So, yeah, hopefully tomorrow we can get it done.
All the best. Thanks for your time.
Cheers. Thank you.
The players are going to be introduced in just a moment, but the big question mark is over the fitness of Phil Davis, and Al Nicholson is with him right now.
Phil Davis, great to see you the day before a grand final. What's running through your mind at the moment?
Oh, it's just a good place to be, mate. It's something you always hope for, is to be a part of this, and it's just terrific, and we're just looking forward to going one step further tomorrow.
Now, if I was to do a fitness test on you now, should I start with your finger, your calf, your knee, your back?
Maybe start with the mind. That was obviously where the weakness was on the weekend, but feeling really good, mate. The body feels good. I pulled up pretty well, and I had a really good week on the track. Got some really good work in yesterday, so feeling really confident.
You were there right from the start, back in 2012. Your first 2 seasons, you're beaten by over 100 points on 10 occasions.
Yep.
When you reflect on where you were to where you are now, what sort of thoughts does it bring up?
Oh, probably a bit of pride. I think the hard times were always part of the sell. I always knew that coming up, but the ability for our group to stay together and keep pushing forward, and people to make decisions like Stephen Keogh last week, or Jeremy Cameron, or whoever it has been across the way, to stick it with it and just and go through other hard times, whether it be losing prelims, etc. We've had injuries, we've had all this. It's just really pride, because it's been a hard 8 years. It's been challenging, everything, but that's all made it more special to get here, and that's why tomorrow's so important for us to chase that win.
Gee, you've played with some serious attitude in the last few weeks. You've really got under the skin of the opposition and in the face of the opposition. Was there any sort of line in the sand moment after the losses to Hawthorn and the Bulldogs at all that triggered this?
Not particularly. I think it was more just a reflection that we weren't playing very well, and we understand that our contested ball, etc., is the most important part of the game, whether you can tackle well and all that, and we just weren't doing it well. So there's no doubt that our contested ball tackling has been better, which is sort of linked in with the commentary around our aggression, etc.
What would a premiership mean to the newest club in the competition?
Oh, I just think it'd be just be unbelievable. That's what we're here for. We're not here just to be a part of the parade and be part of the day tomorrow. We're here to win tomorrow and put our stamp on the competition and this club forever.
Yeah, and broadly on the club, what do you think the effects could be?
Oh, I think everyone loves winners. Everyone's like success, and I think it's also, I don't think we need vindication, but it's always great to get some form of that in terms of it's going well, we're going the right direction.
Great to chat to you, Phil. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, mate. Thanks to go.
Al Nicholson there with Phil Davis. Will he play? Won't he play? It'll take a fair bit to keep Phil Davis from running through the banner tomorrow when the Giants make their way out onto the ground. Did you see the stat from Joshua Kay on Twitter? How did it go, Emma Race?
It said Marlon Pickett, 0 AFL games, 1 grand final parade. It's an amazing stat, isn't it?
Bad. Imagine if he got injured in the warm-up tomorrow. So it's one grand final parade.
I'm just watching scenes. I just saw Mike Brady, and I just thought, gee, Mike Brady is to the grand final what a Christmas tree is to Christmas, right?
He isn't it? Should we have a listen to Mike Brady?
We want to remember there isn't any doubting. We'll be in there shouting. Football's such a part of this whole town. Such a part of this whole town. And we know that you won't let us down.
I'd love to see Mike Brady's diary for grand final week.
It must be crazy. It's so uniquely Australian, the sound of Mike Brady singing those songs. It's kind of a deep embedded childhood feeling when you listen to him, isn't it?
Oh, it really is. I mean, those songs, I was very young, but I can still remember Up There Kazali coming out and seeing it, I think, on Countdown at the time with an amazing film clip. And this was at a time when highlights packages weren't really what they are today. And there was a highlights package as the film clip. So that made it extra exciting. I think we're ready for the live feed down at Yarra Park. The players about to be introduced onto the stage at the front of the MCG.
In any weather you will see us with a grin, risking head and shin. If we're behind then never mind, we'll fight and win, for we're from Tigerland. We never weaken till the final siren's gone. Like the tiger of old, we're strong and we're bold, for we're from Tigerland. Yellow and black, we're from Tigerland.
And now to a club about to play in their first ever AFL Grand Final. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Leon Cameron, Captain Phil Davis and the rest of the team representing the GWS Giants.
There's a big, big sound from the west of the town. It's the sound of the mighty Giants. Feel the ground is shaking, the other teams are quaking in their boots before the Giants. We take the longest strides and the highest leap. We're stronger than the rest. We're the greater Western Sydney Giants. We're the biggest and the best, and we will never surrender. We'll fight until the end. We're greater than the rest. It's the sound of the mighty Giants. Feel the ground is shaking, the other teams are quaking in their boots before the Giants. Take the longest strides and the highest leap. We're stronger than the rest. We're the greater Western Sydney Giants. We're the biggest and the best, and we will never surrender. We'll fight until the end. We're greater than the rest.
I'd now like to invite the coach of the Richmond Football Club, Damien Hardwick, to the microphone. Well, Dimmer, 2 years ago you were standing in the exact same spot about to become a premiership coach. Does it feel like long ago?
Yeah, it does a little bit, but it's been quite a journey since we've been there. But we're very much looking forward to the competition tomorrow. We're playing up a quality side in the GWS, but we shall have a few fans there tomorrow. It's been a fantastic turnout today, so well done, Tiger fans.
How has this year's preparation compared to 2017?
Yeah, it's hard to remember 2017, but what I do know, we've had a terrific preparation. Our medical staff and fitness staff have done a terrific job getting these guys ready to play, and yeah, we look forward to tomorrow.
Finally, when you look at this Giants side, what's the most challenging aspect of it?
Yeah, they're a terrific side. We love the way they play. You know, there's going to be two pretty good sides going at it tomorrow. It's going to be a highly contested pressure game, and we're looking forward to the challenge. You know, we've got to play our best to beat the best, so we look forward to it, but I've got no doubt the Tiger Army will be there in force, and they'll certainly help us.
Sounds like they will be. Ladies and gentlemen, Richmond coach Damien Hardwick. Keep the applause going, because I'd now like to invite the captain, Trent Cotchin. Trent. Tiger Army out in full force yet again. What's it like being captain of this powerhouse club in Grand Final week?
Oh, it's amazing to see the support here today, but, you know, through thick and thin, you know, there was some times during the year where we were challenged, and they continue to show up, and that's why we love them.
Are you enjoying the week and the build-up a little bit more, having got a premiership under your belt already?
Oh, I think, you know, the messaging from Dimmer and our guys just typically live in the moment and thrive on everything that's thrown our way. It's special to be a part of it. You know, Melbourne's turned on the weather, which we weren't really expecting. And it's just so nice to enjoy these moments together.
Finally, what do you have over this Giants side, which will see you lift the Premiership Cup tomorrow?
Oh, look, as Dimmer said, they're a quality opposition. You know, the way they've fought their way through this final series is a credit to them, and we just look forward to a really hard-fought battle throughout the midfield, but also at both ends. There's going to be some fantastic one-on-one contests across the ground.
I'll ask my question again. What do you have over the Giants?
The Tiger Army.
Good answer. Ladies and gentlemen, Richmond captain Trent Cotchin. Time now to welcome GWS coach Leon Cameron. Leon, how does it feel to guide the club to its first ever AFL Grand Final?
Yeah, it's obviously a fantastic achievement in 8 years of our existence, and started coming from sixth and winning 3 finals in a row is a great thing to do by our club. And last week when we won through from the prelim, it was just ecstatic for our group, and it's great that the Giants supporters are turning up and New South Wales are behind us.
Is the enormity of the occasion starting to sink in moments like this?
I suppose it's very, very surreal. I mean, the parade was fantastic. Both supporters, from the Tigers to the Giants, were terrific, and it's obviously first for us. But we look forward to it. We've had a really enjoyable week. The bus trips have been great. We understand there's a game tomorrow, and we look forward to that challenge.
Some say Richmond's advantage is that they have grand final experience. What's your team's advantage?
Yeah, obviously they were here in 17 and they won that game pretty well, and they've been there before, but I'd like to think that our guys are pretty bold and they want to step out on the MCG tomorrow, and I think a lot of these players are built for September action, and we've seen that in the last 3 weeks. So, we've just got to perform tomorrow because we understand the Tigers are a terrific team.
Leon, all the best tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, GWS coach Leon Cameron. And last but not least, the Giants captain Phil Davis. Phil, tell me, how many questions have you been asked about your body this week?
Yeah, a few too many, to be honest. I'm a little bit embarrassed. I was probably carrying on a little bit on the weekend, but yeah, it's been we don't usually get cameras in our car parks. I've had to deal with that this week for the first time too, but body's feeling really good and ready for tomorrow afternoon.
I may as well ask one more question about it. Any concerns?
No concerns. Just looking forward to 2:30 tomorrow.
Some hard luck stories, though, for both the Giants and Richmond this week, with key players missing tomorrow's grand final. How have you dealt with that as a skipper?
Yeah, it is tough. I think for us, we've been very fortunate the calibre of the people we have. You look at Cal Ward, who's probably done more for this footy club than anyone else has been able to do, and for him to miss this opportunity is obviously gut-wrenching for him, but he's held himself in such an unbelievable manner, and it's rub off on anyone. And he's actually gone out of his way to make sure everyone else is as well prepared as possible, and that sort of selfless nature from him to Stephen Canio to Brett Delidio all the way through the footy club has made those hardships a lot easier to deal with.
Well, Phil, all the best tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, GWS captain Phil Davis. I'd now like to invite both captains to shake hands, walk to the edge of the stage and lift the 2019 Toyota AFL Premiership Cup.
Oh, there it is. A lot of excitement down out the front of the MCG. Plenty of fans have gathered there today. There was the threat of rain, but I don't think there's been a single drop, as far as I can tell, down at the MCG.
No, it's a classic Melbourne day. It's a bit windy. That's the only thing.
Oh, we don't like wind.
No.
We want the wind to stay away. But last time I checked, Corbin, 16 degrees and fairly mild tomorrow, so a good grand final day.
Absolutely. The players just have just the jumpers on at the moment, and the hoodie for Phil Davis as the captains hold the cup to the crowd there at Yarra Park.
Yeah, but Phil Davis there assuring everyone that he's absolutely cherry ripe and good to go.
Yep. So take him on his word. If he feels like he's ready to play, I'm sure we'll see him there tomorrow.
And what do we think's going to happen tomorrow, Emma Race? I know it's a fraught business. Predicting what's going to happen in a grand final, but hey, let's have a bit of fun with it.
Well, look, I think it really is. It's chill versus chill with those two coaches who are just saying it relaxed lead up. Neither of them get too overwhelmed by it. I just think experience for the Tigers going into that MCG on that day. I just think that might give them the edge, but I don't know. I feel like the matchup is a very interesting one in terms of their game style. So I'm looking forward to... I want lots of goals. Not sure if that will happen.
We've got two ripping defences going up against each other too tomorrow, Corbin.
I think I'm going for the story. I think the Giants will win. I think they're the team on the Cinderella run. We've seen how much of a role momentum's played in the final series in previous years. The Dogs coming from 7th. Obviously we had the Richmond run and everyone was behind them when they won. And even West Coast last year, they had to overcome so much adversity, injuries, missing 3 of their best players. The Giants have had that run this year.
I love the story too. They were underdogs against the Bulldogs, underdogs against the Lions, underdogs against Collingwood, and they're underdogs again tomorrow. A massive thank you to Al Nicholson and Matt Clinch for wonderful. The interviews from the players and coaches at the 2019 AFL Grand Final Parade. Thank you, Emma Race.
Thanks, Anthony.
Thank you, Corbin Middlemiss.
Anytime.
Tune in tomorrow morning. Emma, you'll be with
Libby Gore, Gate 2. Come and visit us at the MCG from 8:30.
And that rolls into the Could Have Been Champions, and then I'll be there with Ange Pipos, Michael Gleeson, Jake Knoll and Quentin Hull out the front of Gate 2. Swing by and say hello tomorrow. And thanks for tuning into the 2019 AFL Grand Final Parade.
ABC News, hello, I'm Rob Sharp. The Democratic Speaker of the US House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, has accused President Donald Trump of trying to cover up the details of a telephone conversation he had with the President of Ukraine. Her accusation follows the publication by the US government of a letter by a whistleblower. It says President Trump used Ukraine's leader to begin a corruption investigation into his possible presidential rival, Joe Biden. Ms. Pelosi says the president's lawyers have tried to conceal records of the call.
The complaint reports a, quote, repeated abuse of an electronic record system designed to store classified, sensitive national security information, which the White House used to hide information of a political nature.
In New South Wales, a Labor staffer has told the state's corruption watchdog she was surprised about a delivery of $100,000 cash but didn't ask questions. From Sydney, here's Nick Dole.
Labor Financial Controller Maggie Wang says she was told another staffer had brought in the cash after a fundraising dinner in 2015. She's told the ICAC receiving that much cash was weird and the amount exceeded her expectations. But she said there was paperwork to go with it, so it wasn't her job to question it. She said she got on with her life. The Commission's heard allegations the donors on paper were fake and the cash was brought in personally by Chinese billionaire and band donor Huang Zhangmo. He denies wrongdoing. Nick Dole, ABC News, Sydney.
A 65-year-old woman and a young boy are recovering in Canberra Hospital after they were seriously injured in a bus crash in southern New South Wales. We get the details from Mark Reddy.
A bus carrying 28 people from a church group lost control and veered off the Burley-Griffin Highway near Canberra this morning. The coach rolled down an embankment near Harden, injuring at least 25 people. A 65-year-old woman was airlifted to hospital with head injuries, while an 8-year-old boy was left with a fractured leg. Inspector Stephen Pollard from New South Wales Ambulance says everyone is lucky to be alive.
I suppose we could say they were all shaken but not stirred.
The driver is assisting police with their inquiries.
Police say human remains found in the Murray River on the Victoria-New South Wales border could belong to a swimmer who vanished in January. 21-year-old Nepalese university student Bikul Pandit disappeared while swimming with friends in Albury, but search crews were unable to find his body. Murray River Detective Inspector Winston Woodward says it's a bittersweet day for Mr Pandit's family, who have not given up hope of finding him.
Hopefully we can provide a bit of closure to the family, but in no way are we confirming that the human remains are Mr Pandit's.
Die-hard football fans have turned out in their thousands at Melbourne's Yarra Park to cheer on players at the end of this year's Grand Final Parade. From Melbourne, here's Stephanie Ferrier.
The massive crowd has spilled out across Yarra Park after lining city streets to support their teams. It's been dominated by a sea of yellow and black, but there are still plenty of Greater Western Sydney supporters who've made the trek south early. Many Richmond fans admit to feeling a bit more nervous than their last Grand Final appearance in 2017 because they're no longer the underdogs, but they still believe they'll get the job done tomorrow. Bad weather has also managed to stay away so far and not rain on the parade as fans soak up the carnival atmosphere.
More than 20 people are now confirmed dead after a powerful earthquake struck the island of Ambon in Indonesia. Correspondent Ann Barker.
The earthquake initially measured 6.8 on the scale but was downgraded to 6.5. It caused major damage to houses and buildings, including a university and a hospital. Part of the university's third floor collapsed, killing at least one person. At least 2,000 people have been made homeless, in need of tents, food, water and medicine. Thousands more poured onto the streets in panic, and many fled to nearby hills in case of a tsunami. The quake's epicentre was less than 40 kilometres offshore. Ann Barker, ABC News, Jakarta.
Tonga's parliament has elected a new prime minister to replace the late Akalisi Pahiva. The current finance minister, Pahiva Tui Onatawa, has secured the top job over the acting Prime Minister. And one of Asia's major airlines is to offer passengers the ability to book seats away from small children. The move by Japan Airlines is being welcomed on social media, with some users saying it'll help them avoid being sat next to screaming infants on flights. But Japan Airlines warns the new system isn't foolproof, of course, with tickets booked via third parties.